joined also by your teammate Will Power, driving the number 12 Verizon Team Penske Chevrolet. Will, it seems like you're, like Joseph just said, surrounded by teammates, but you are the reigning winner here at this track. Do you feel like most of your competition lies internally?
Yeah, it definitely looks that way. So, yeah, like Joseph said, we're definitely we keep learning off each other. That's going to be the key this weekend. I'm pretty sure we'll all be at the front in qualifying, and yeah, it's just about doing a good job and trying to get the most out of your car and understand where your teammate's faster.
Did you say you're pretty sure you'll be up front in qualifying?
I'm pretty sure we'll all be up front. Like you'll be all
Gotcha.
fighting it out in the fast six if we get right.
Oh, he is. He's very
up front.
yeah. We've switched personalities. I've suddenly become super overconfident.
He's super cocky, Will. Especially at the simulator before we come here.
It obviously worked.
You're so awkward, Will. You're so awkward.
You're just goofy, man. You're just like goofy.
I know that you guys might know this. Will and me have a great relationship. Okay, we're great teammates, so we're happy to be up here.
We definitely are, and I'm surprised he hasn't said it yet.
What?
Oh, you haven't said it yet.
Said what?
What do you think?
Oh no, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say that.
Well, you're not saying.
But I drilled you. There you go.
Anytime I'm faster than Joseph or he's faster than me, he's still going to just say absolutely drilled you.
Will literally call me. I don't know what we're doing right now. We're going completely off script.
It's press devolving, but I'm hesitant to break it up.
No, he will literally call me at night after a simulator session and be like, "Hey, I just got out and I drilled you." You know, if he went like a tenth quicker than me or something like that, and I'll do it vice versa now. So we have a little joke going back and forth.
I think you guys are alluding to a great point, though. It seems like the Team Penske situation, while extremely competitive, really does seem like it's grown into a good bit of a family with the four drivers. Now that we've reached kind of past the halfway point of the season, how's your mid-season review so far with Team Penske and the chemistry that you guys have built in that team?
I think it's been great. You know, a lot of people have asked it this year for me what I thought of it, and you know, I didn't really know last year what it was going to be like coming into it. It's not a knock on Team Penske. You just don't, you know, from the outside, I think it looks different, and you're not sure what that atmosphere is like and what the environment will be, whether good or bad, you know, and it's been fun to get to know it because I think we have a good relationship amongst all the drivers. We joke around a lot. We're very serious. I mean, we want to beat each other. You know, I'd like to be the best out of everybody, just like every one of these guys, but we seem to have a really good working relationship, which I think, you know, kind of comes from the top down with Roger. It's pretty impressive to see how he, you know, sets the tone for the whole organization, and we kind of all follow it. And we do have a good relationship. It's not a facade. Like it's a pretty fun environment to work in. It's competitive, but it's fun. And I think that's, you know, why we've been so good is we've just been able to make each other better, you know, and keep feeding off each other with what we do each session. So.
Will, as a veteran of the team, how would you say this cast of characters compares to ones that you've experienced with Team Penske in the past?
Well, I think Montoya and Joseph are almost polar opposites as far as personality goes.
I think they're interchangeable.
But yeah, I mean, everyone has their strengths, and you know, I think eventually we all converge on the same driving style, and you know, because you just picking the best bits of everyone, and but they're all, I mean, all different personalities, different nationalities, and it's always fun and very competitive. You know, we all want to be the one to be at the top.
Bringing the conversation back to Road America, you had some fun yesterday, I believe, with a local celebrity, hanging out with Green Bay Packers quarterback Brett Hundley. I hear you even got your hands on a football. What were you guys up to yesterday?
Yeah, he was trying to throw it through a window of a Corvette going past. He got it actually. It's not out in video. I just ruined it for everyone, but he got it. He got it in, but I didn't. But I'm used to throwing it like a rugby. Like rugby, we pass like this. We don't throw over the top. So I just had one attempt. I was like, probably, you know, stick to driving.
And in rugby, it has to go backwards too, right?
Yeah, you got to
So
throw it
very
backwards. Yeah,
different.
very different. It's actually funny. You watch the games, and not that difference in the strategies and all that. But sometimes I'm like, why don't they pass the ball around a bit? They just throw it once and catch it, and that's it. Like, pass the ball, man.
They only do that kind of again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
It's only once. You get one.
What were your impressions of Brett Hundley, and what did you guys talk about and relate together on as professional athletes?
Yeah, it was really interesting. You know, he just asked me about strategy and, you know, the type of homework you got to do as a race car driver. And because it's the same for them. I mean, they got to, he said he has to learn like a 600-page book and understand plays. And when they say we're doing this play, he's got to be able to memorize it and tell all the other guys what they're doing. So it's, you know, it is very comparable, and you've got to execute, you know, the move perfectly, and it's similar to racing.
Questions for Josef and Will? Yes, David.
Yeah, we won't be able to hear you without the microphone, David. Thank
We
you for
need
waiting.
the microphone for the transcript,
Sorry.
for our transcriptionist.
For when it's such a long lap as this, is it hard to look after your tyres on an out lap so that you've still got life enough for them for the full qualifying run?
I think everyone's a little different. I mean, Will, I know, does it a little differently than I do in the way you know, look after your tires over those 2 or 3 laps, you know, when you wanted them to come in. I find that they, you know, there's enough straightaway that, you know, it kind of stays the same as a short course. You know, if you want to go hard on the out lap on a short course, it's no different that it's being longer here. They have time to cool down in the long straight, so it doesn't really overuse them, I don't find. So I kind of do my same technique of going pretty hard on the out lap to heat the tire. But everyone has a different style. I know Will's style is a little different in the way he heats it. But like I said, I think it averages out with the straightaways being lengthened too from the corners. So no difference in what I'm doing, at least.
Yeah, it's it depends. Yeah, I mean, like Joseph said, you do have a lot of straight here, but the track is kind of abrasive, so you got to think ahead a little bit with but the reds actually last well. I found like I went quicker on the second run, so you know, the reds are quite good, so you have to be so worried about it like some tracks.
And I was going to ask Joseph as well, you said in Detroit that you made a bit of a breakthrough setup-wise as far as getting your road and street course handling right for qualifying. Is today's result a kind of example of that?
I think we're closer. Yeah, I don't know if we're ultimately there, but we're definitely closer. You know, we started out of the box a lot better this weekend, and it kind of followed into today. So I definitely think, yeah, we've made a lot of progress. Detroit was a good weekend for us to make that progress. But we still have some things that need to be, I think, better for me that I'm still looking for. But we've made big steps. You know, if you think about it in 100%, I think we've probably gotten 75% of the way there, you know, but we're still trying to find those last little details. And every track's different. You know, that's the thing that I find is hard about IndyCar is, you know, you feel like, well, you've been to every track, so you have, you know, an understanding of how to drive every track, but it almost seems like you have to make a setup specifically for each track. There's these little details that you need for each specific track. And so Brian and me have been working on those little things every weekend we go to. And, you know, even Road America here, there's things that we just need to fine-tune for here. We can't just go off the GP of Indy and say, well, you know, that's what we learned there is what we're going to plug into here and we'll be good to go. We still have to figure out Road America. So it's kind of, it's a hard series in that you have to take a year to learn each track with your setups for each specific team and then execute on it. But I think we're a lot closer, absolutely.
Other questions? Yes, Dave.
The benefit of a large team is being able to share information among you, and that's how you all get better. But is it harder, like mentally, to get to want to do that when you're 1, 2, 3, 4 than say if you're 5th, 7th, 9th, and 12th or something like that? You know, you still know it's better, but is it kind of harder to go? Yeah, we can help each other out here.
Yeah, try. You mean like giving information to each other, like sharing information? I mean, you don't have to say anything. It's all there.
I was going to say, it's kind of hard to hide.
Yeah, you can't now. You get, we got onboard cameras, we got Dartfish, we got data, and you got the notes from the session. You can't if you wanted to hide something, you just can't, you know. And
It's like impossible. No joke. It is 100% impossible to hide anything. Yeah, right.
Here you have such a very narrow window, whether you go 3-stop or 4-stop. What is that window? I mean, how soon does it start?
yeah, I mean that's the problem. They should have added 10 laps, not 5, because it's made it. Everyone has to save fuel. If it starts off, there's no yellows. I mean, everyone's going for a 3-stopper and saving fuel because it's such a long pit lane penalty. It's 40 seconds, so they added the wrong amount. It should have been 10 laps or even 8 laps.
It's close, yeah. I mean, you could do either one depending on where you are, but it's, you can do the 3-stop still. So I think most people will try and do that.
Well, if you're out front,
Stop
it's
at what lap in order to do that?
13.
Yeah.
You have to stop 13 and then 14 for the net rest.
Other questions for Tony?
Joseph, how much do you feel like you can kind of properly attack this track this year compared to last year, where it was your first time in an IndyCar and you were obviously coming off the Texas recovery?
I thought we were actually pretty good last year, but we, like you said, we didn't. I don't want to use the injury as an excuse. We just didn't, get it all together. I made a mistake in qualifying, and I thought we probably would have been pretty good in qualifying, maybe, top 10, top 5, and probably top 5. I think we could have made the top 6. And, I made a mistake in Q1, and that put us to back, and then we had a great race. We were fast in the race, and, we were fighting inside the top 10 there. So, I don't want to use the injury as an excuse. I just don't think we got it all together. It was probably more down to me just not getting it done. So, I feel good about coming here. I think we've got a really strong car with Team Penske and, should be able to have a good weekend. I would judge that off of the race. Like, our race performance was very good last year, so I think we can have a very good race this year with Team Penske.
I don't know whether it was you last year or not, but didn't a couple of you guys kind of venture off into the crowds on Friday night to hang out with them and see what they were like? And do you plan on doing that again tonight?
Just, I went for a walk down there with our old camp and had a bit of game of I got the cornhole, like, first go, boom, straight in, didn't touch the sides. I said,
It's just like rugby.
I'm going to win this thing. And it happened. Yeah. As soon as it did, it was a perfect shot, man. That's what's his name? Hardley said.
What about you?
I didn't last year, but I've been to this track many times without racing here, and it's a very fun track to walk around at. There's a lot of great, families, fans just camping, having a good time. It's beautiful up here. Actually, I love this country up here. It's so beautiful. I'd probably move up here if the winters weren't so terrible. But during the summer, it's really nice. So, it's fun to walk around. I don't know if we'll have time, but I'd like to go out and say hi to some people, so it might happen, yeah.
Malsher?
Going back to fuel consumption rather than cornholes, if you used your push to pass or if you didn't and someone else did for a whole lap, could you save a whole lap's worth of fuel around there?
If you did, yeah. If you use a push to pass, it does burn a lot more fuel.
Right.
Yeah, but
So someone who used that would have to duck into the pits a lap earlier, yeah?
yeah, that's the thing. You can't.
Not necessarily. I don't know. I mean, you can use it and still save fuel. But
you can use it
You
and
just
save
have to
fuel,
do
but-
more on the other sides of your driving technique. If you're going to use push to pass on a lap where you're still saving fuel, you just have to do more work in the brake zones and everything. So you just have to compensate for it, right?